welcome to Living Out Loud Live. I am
Hello, hello,
Vicky,
hello.
Hey.
middle-aged transgender woman and Jerry Falwell's worst nightmare. Tonight we are going to discuss the ever-fun fundamentalism that has somehow overtaken the conservative political spectrum. They claim they are the majority, but in reality they aren't. They are very vocal, though, and they are increasingly very violent. They portend to be victims of the woke agenda. They are very religiously hypocritical. Like I said, it's a barrel of laughs tonight. Like Mike Pence is definitely the life of the party at most major morgues and dry cleaning store openings. And you get extra starch free if he doesn't crack a smile during his sleep-inducing speech.
And he brings his buddy the fly along with him.
That's right. Getting her "Don't Tread on Me" and Confederate flag stickers ready for her car is my hostess with the Moses, Laura, originator of the Living Out Loud podcast and amazing rainbow community ally. Ooh, I can't say that doesn't go. Welcome, Laura.
Hey, how are you? How are you? How are you? I'm doing very well today. I'm happy to be able to actually be here in my home. I didn't have to go. I did not have to spend the night at in Jacksonville for the Mayo Clinic, so I'm happy to be here. And I am happy to welcome to the table once again, already hopefully with a double or a triple pour of wine in her hand and ready to consume, our amazing Jamie, mother of three, teacher to many, and activist extraordinaire. I'm sure she'd rather be grading papers right now than talking to us, but we're just gonna pretend and we're gonna talk about these false patriot prophets, both whatever they are.
I'm not sure. Hi all. I'm not sure I want to be grading papers right now. If you've ever read a current 11th grade student's essay, not so much fun. But I'm super glad to be here, and I'm excited to be with you ladies.
Absolutely. Altogether, we are queens of the overshare, especially from our pulpit, where rather than preaching about hate and how I picture my Jesus like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the movie Commando, we are going to talk about the religious nutjobs who claim their rights are constantly violated, are dead set on making choices for everyone else. Welcome to all of you. If you're joining us live or in replay, this is an opinion show, so you may hear some things you don't agree with. You can join the discourse in the comments, but we just block people who try to troll us. Fair warning, we will forget about you. We kind of get involved and forget we're doing a live stream because we're just talking to each other. But we will try to check in and chat whenever we can. Because this isn't a show, it's a PTA network revival. And if we don't get $1 billion right away in donations, we won't have $1 billion.
Please, kind sir, can you spare another?
Yep. Something tragic will happen if we don't have $1 billion. We won't have $1 billion. All right, here we go.
So, as always, fun and friendship come first around our round table. So, we're going to go ahead and talk about what everybody's drinking this evening and give a little bit of recap about how our week has been since the last time we were all together, which honestly, for me, I am drinking a hydration drink and my spicy ginger ale, the Q, which I love that. I can't believe that it's only been a week since our last show, actually, because we got together for the Trans March this weekend. That was absolutely fabulous. Went and visited Lisa at one of her craft shows, which was really, really cool to do. I've already ran up to Mayo and been back, so I can't believe that what the week has already been. But the highlight for my week, honestly, was being at the Trans March in Orlando, seeing how many people showed up for it, the Youth Trans March. Earlier in the year, I guess right before the governor's race, they had a march or a rally down in downtown Orlando, and I think there's like 50 of us that had showed up that time. And to see just how many people showed up this weekend, and to get to listen to Miss Major and see Miss Major in person. I mean,
That
that
was
was
amazing.
just amazing. And then just luck have it as we're leaving, she was leaving. I'm like, hey, can I get a selfie? Because,
I saw
I'll
that.
always ask for it.
That's the fact that she flew all the way out to from California to be there just because she felt so strongly about what's going on. And it was hard to hear her speech, but what I could hear was extremely inspiring. Um, I did like the fact that she talked that it was coming around again. That we're gonna have to endure what we're gonna have to endure to get where we want to be, and that's hard. It's not easy as a community to know that we've got some difficult times to get to some better times, but that's what we're doing.
But we're doing it while we're collecting friends along the way.
What
So
was her
that is
name
something that,
again
oh,
in this picture? I forgot her name. She was an amazing speaker.
she was.
I
I am
forgot what her name
horrible
was.
with names.
She's from
So
California too.
Yeah.
She was amazing. She was walking alongside us when we were in the march and realized, I guess, that Dempsey was my kid. And she was like, Mama, is this your baby? And I was like, absolutely. And she's like, come here, let me give you a kiss. And she gave me this giant wet kiss on my cheek. And I was like, you know what? Her daddy's right behind me. And she did the same thing to Dennis. It was so cute. And she's like, I love this because it's not something I saw in my day. So
Yep.
it was really awesome.
that is just, I actually saw her go and do that, and just watching her do that in that interaction, and seriously, the awe that she had for you and for Dempsey. I mean, you could really see that was giving her hope. Like,
Yeah.
what she saw gave her hope, because even though we know we're in the trenches right now, and we do know that we are definitely backwards to where we were 30
Mhm.
years ago, um, what we're seeing though is people coming out, and people standing up for their kids and talking about it, and not hiding in the closet and not trying to hide it away, and being proud of it. And I think that is truly inspiring. I know you inspire me every day because of it. So
Well,
yeah.
you both of you inspire me. That picture is amazing too.
This
Dempsey just
this
was like in
this was
awe.
my favorite picture. Yes, yes. This is the next generation looking at the first generation of fighters in our community, the
Yep.
ones that turned New York on its ear, turned the nation on its ear, and made people aware that we weren't some underground club bullshit kind of a thing. We were going to stand up for ourselves. They chased the cops from
Mm-hmm.
from Stonewall.
Yeah. And if
Which,
people don't know, Miss Major was actually hit with one of the bricks
yeah,
from Stonewall. So she was actually injured
and
in the
spent many years in
Stonewall.
Attica, which
Yes.
is a horrible prison. But she
Yeah.
was there, and there's Dempsey. Look, and you can just feel the awe and the attention and the knowing that this was important.
Well, she knew when I said Stonewall, she was like, "Mommy, someone's still here." Because she's only 11, so like to her, we're ancient, right?
Yeah,
So, like,
yeah.
she,
We're like 300 years old, right?
yes. So we're like biblical old, right?
Right. So
Yeah.
we
So,
come from the
so
days.
they must be like the dinosaurs.
We come from the days when the world was in black and white, and then eventually
Yeah.
it became color.
Yes. So
Oh gosh,
when I said Stonewall, and she knows what Stonewall is, very, and she knows Marsha P. Johnson, and she knows Sylvia Rivera, and so she knows these stories, and she knows what happened there. We actually last summer got to be there, and there's a really cool picture of her standing in front of it with a trans flag as a cape and stuff. So she knew this was important, and just like, because you saw her, she was kind of like, she's 11, so she, like, her intention is like, yeah, whatever, I want to play TikTok on my phone. So she was sitting on the stairs. But when she realized that this was someone that was at Stonewall, she got up and booked her ass over to stand there.
Yeah.
Because she wanted to see this historic person to her. And that's why I had to snap that picture, because I was like, oh my God, wow.
It's
it's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, it really, truly is. And seeing her have idols to look up to and say, okay, look, these are transgender women that came before me and they lived through hell. But
Mm-hmm.
they are here, and look how gorgeous they are, and they're still
Yep.
vibrant. That right there is that's the beauty of the community, because when everybody comes out and you just feel that love, it just spars you into wanting everybody to feel that love.
And again,
100%.
she didn't have to come from California all the way here, but
No.
because Orlando and Florida are the epicenter of the bad, she was
Mhm.
here to light the spark for the next generation, and I think she did that so successfully. That crowd came alive, and I let's deal with the elephant in the room. Oh, and there's Andrea. She is
Andrea.
she is everywhere, and I don't know. I can't keep up with her. And
No, she had
She's
she had a
approaching
flat
to DC.
tire. She had a flat tire that day. Someone had to change the flat tire. She had to leave before we did because Dennis said he would help her change the tire. But she had another engagement at 3, so she
Yeah.
actually left early. And then and then she was in DC. So she's just incredible, and I can't keep up with her, honestly. I mean, people think we're busy, and I'm like, that lady doesn't take a break like ever.
No, she doesn't. I don't think she sleeps. I think
No.
she is trans magic. Like, I think she's
she
magical.
is. She is. She is.
She is.
And so we have to deal with the elephant in the room. Jamie was the first one to sport the new hairdo and bring it out on Saturday. Laura was the next one to debut, and
I love it.
I'm the So
I love it.
Thank you.
so
And
we now go
Vicky,
from
I
blonde
love
to
the
brunette
short.
to
I love
redhead.
I know, and I'm kind of mad because I would not mad at our hair, but I will tell you, I did order something custom for Christmas, and it's gonna totally fuck up the whole thing because our hair does not look like it did when I ordered it.
I still have the wig. It's okay. I'll put it back on for Christmas. We're fine.
All right, well, just keep that in mind when you open it for Christmas, okay?
Yeah,
So-
I can rock a wig for a while. Don't worry.
We had there was such an enormous turnout,
Yeah.
and it was beautiful, and the counter protesters were so not there, thank God,
Nope.
and then but our own.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh yes.
Oh, baby Jesus.
3, 2. Our children are United States citizens with rights, just like everybody else. My husband fought in the Air Force. My father fought in the Navy. My kids deserve rights, just like everybody else. 3, 2. Our children are United States citizens.
I said, hey, you to anyone that thinks this is a PG show. And I said, fuck you to anybody that knows
My
me.
kids deserve rights, just like everybody else. 3, 2.
Yeah.
Let's give a shout out here to John for like you using your back. He was like pulling you like an anchor. Like he was like, you were so fired up, and I just loved when I saw him
Well,
like
it
grab
took
you
both
and yeah.
John and I to pull her off, and it wasn't that we were afraid for her. We were afraid for
We were
the
afraid for
the
them.
counter protesters.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I love that you did that. I tend to not avoid them. I'll walk past them, but I tend to not be so direct with them only because usually Dempsey's with me, and I've been in situations where they like start like throwing punches
you
and
see,
stuff, and I don't
and-
want to get her hurt. So
you see,
that's where-
This is what and yes, I'm glad Dempsey was not near me at the time, and I need to make sure that I'm cognizant
No,
of
it's
that, because I
fine.
don't have
She loved
my
it. I
little
showed
kids
it to
with
her.
me. However, what I was going to say is I have a privilege that you don't have right now. I can stand there and I can scream about my children all I want. They can send DCF to my home. They can send as much time
Right.
Oh, we hope
coming
they
at my
do.
my
Oh my
house to
God.
come look for my adult children.
It would
They're
be
gonna
it would be
take your
fun.
dog away.
One that lives in like Maine somewhere, and then the other one, like, you're not going to find anything exciting. So
Yeah.
the thing is, that is where sometimes I try to take the cover to try to
Yeah.
get the attention, not the attention, but to make the statement that needs to be said. And also because I do come from a military background. I mean, my father was a Master Chief Petty Officer in the Navy. He did 22 years. He got as high as he could as an enlisted in the Navy.
Yeah.
And then John has army he has an army achievement medal even though he was in the Air Force. And then, he was in the Air Force and he had his humanitarian medal for helping out at the 9/11 not 9/11, the Alpha P Murrah building bomb site in Oklahoma. So I lived through homegrown terrorism. Like we lived 5 miles from the Oklahoma City bombing site.
Yeah.
So I take everything that's been being taken away from my children and all this crap very, very, very personally, because I can't see how other
Absolutely.
people are so blind. Like I'm so confused how other people don't see it.
Yeah.
Well, I was aggravated because those people were in Starbucks when we went in. I didn't realize that those were the counter protesters because they had like rainbow shirts, but they were like
Yes.
the Gays Against Groomers. And they didn't say anything. Notice that they had no balls to say, not balls, I shouldn't say that, but you know what I mean? They didn't have the chutzpah to say anything when we were in there because they saw all of us when we were in there waiting because we were there for a bit and they didn't say anything. And they had security with them. Dennis told me they had two guys with them. And I'm like, seriously? Like, like
the pro wrestler looking douchebags that were flanking them the entire time. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And they were literally protesting because they thought parents should have rights. But they want their parental rights to be extended to our children.
Well, I saw one of them on the news and she said, or they said, I don't know what their pronouns are, and I'm respectful of that. They said that they were there to protect the children and that they didn't think it was right. And so they're there to protect the children. So they're there
But
to
surgeries.
protect my child.
What?
Yeah,
Surgeries.
well, there is no
What?
surgeries. I know.
And
But that's just the same thing they say all the time. I'm so like over it. I saw it and I was like, whatever. Like you people are like, you need to go away.
And they were citing, and I won't name the magazine or the newspaper. It's a Chinese propaganda newspaper that's basically put out to stir up all of the shit here in the U.S. It's not even real journalism.
It's like Inquirer.
Yes, it's like the National Enquirer back in the day.
But the problem is back in the day, everybody knew the Inquirer was trash and it was made believe. And now people just believe
you don't even have to rely on the Inquirer. I mean,
that boy was a real thing, damn it.
Well, we have somebody calling trans people mutants and demons in the freaking
that's in Sanford,
Florida.
That's in Sanford, which is in Central Florida. Yes, that was.
It's not really so far fetched that these people would look to a paper that's like the Inquirer.
And then his apology was as lackluster as saying, "I don't know the terminology."
He was awful.
By the way, he is a black. He's a black gentleman, and I guarantee you, terminology matters for him.
Oh yeah, no, yes. And he was one of the co-signers of the original bathroom ban bill. So he's an Uncle Tom pushing segregation that he fought back in the day.
Yep.
Welcome to our world.
Yeah.
Welcome to this show. Here we go.
All right. So something more fun. Today is Coming Out Day.
Yes. It's National Coming Out Day.
National Coming Out Day. Yes. How exciting. We had several people wishing everybody happy Coming Out Day. It's my first, so it's been exciting.
Happy Lesbian Pride Week, I think, too. Like, was that last week? Right?
Yeah.
And then, Happy Coming Out Day. So come out to us in every way you'd like to right now.
My comment was that it's pretty much National Lesbian Week every week in our house. But...
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Yes, I've got a lovely cab because I wanted some communion wine. So
I have it doesn't look like a triple pour anymore because I drank some of it. So now it's a double.
So so last week was busy.
This week's even busier.
We fly as a family now. We're like flocking together, and it's so much fun. We have a big fundraiser tomorrow that we need to plug because I think there's still tickets available.
There is
Hamburger Mary's
for the P Flag
Drag Bingo charity for P Flag. Come on down. It's the usual Hamburger Mary's. Come get some food. That's your admission thing. Call reserve a table. Show up. This is gonna be fun, and
Bring
we're all going.
ones. Bring ones and
Yeah, bring
fives to tip. Brings ones and fives to tip.
Be ready to bid on some amazing silent
Auctions. Yep.
The silent auctions. It's always amazing. They always have such good stuff.
Very, very excited to be going. I'm so excited about that.
I can't wait. And all my kids are coming, all 3 of them.
Yes.
And so I asked Jaden, I figured he's doesn't really want to go with us anywhere. And he was like, no, I'm totally going. Because the last time he went with my dad. My dad went and it was awesome. And so he's like, no, I'm going. I was like, okay. And Jackson was, of course, yeah, I'm going. And Dempsey's like, yeah, of course. But so they're all 3 of them will be there. So it's going to be a big party, all of us together. It's going to be awesome.
I am so excited about that.
And we're right in the middle of preparations for a tiny little event. I think come out with Pride Orlando. I don't know if anybody's going to show up to that.
I don't know. Maybe I'll call 200,000 of my friends.
Right. It's
have them show up for you.
It's the largest event that Orlando sees every year. The largest event downtown Orlando sees every day. And somebody we know is a grand marshal.
That's right. Dempsey, my little Dempsey girl, is going to be shining her light and giving a speech. And she is one of the grand marshals, one of 4. And so she will be leading the trans-specific part of the parade, which I think is so appropriate. And of course, our hero, our magical trans unicorn, Andrea, will be walking alongside, and we have both of you will be with us. And so I'm so excited. And this is the first time for me I've ever not had to walk in a parade, and I do them 6 a year. So I'm just gonna right now I'm just trying to focus on my outfit because I can actually wear something that I'm not going to be so sweaty in. So that's my focus right now is the outfit and what I'm wearing.
Is it going to be black and beautiful, or is it going to be colorful?
I think I might add a little color to it, but I gotta always go with my tried and true black signature. I think it might be black and then just a little bit of accents. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I've been looking for trans youth T-shirts that I like, so we're working on that. Lisa ordered a T-shirt that she liked, so we're gonna do that. We've got the night before. We're going to Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes, awesome. I'm so excited. I have my outfit for that. So it is a Columbia.
Oh. Wait, you have to explain that.
For the
have
Rocky
you
Horror
ever seen Rocky Horror Picture Show?
I have, but I've only seen it one time, maybe twice, a long time ago.
Are you and Dennis busy Friday night? I'm sure you are, but if
yes.
not.
So we actually got tickets because we we were donors for Equality Florida. So we are going to be going to the gala. Which is patriotic, which is really difficult for me because I don't own anything in color, 1, and 2, I'm not very patriotic at the moment. So, coming up with red, white, and blue. I got a blue sequins gown, and I'm going to wear red shoes, a red necklace, and I think I'm going to top it off with a white clutch or something. I don't know. But it's just going to be Dennis and I, and it should be a nice evening and in good company. And I don't think it's going to be too late of a night because we have a big day the following day. So
yes.
But the next time, the next time we get together and we're not doing an activist extravaganza like we normally do, let's do a Rocky Horror screening of it because I've seen it twice. Yeah. I need to refresh on it.
What makes it is the audience participation, and it's pretty dirty. But
hey, I love it.
but we also have tattoos upcoming. Now, this was a fun thing on the way up to the Trans Youth.
Yes.
Laura put out 4 artists, and we got submissions up the wazoo. Now, notice we haven't cursed yet. We're doing really well this week. We'll see what happens.
Yes.
We are. But fuck it. Anyways,
there we go.
So the idea was ladybugs because we had to do ladybugs after the ladybugs. We want something small. We're gonna get little wrist tattoos, all three of us. So that will be covered. That's upcoming. I think Laura has one of her favorite artists that's going to
So, funny thing is, in high school, I graduated from Lyman High School. So Lyman Greyhounds, woo! Yes. Right here in Orlando. So, so much fun. So one of the things that I did is I reached out on Facebook and I asked for suggestions of trans-friendly tattoo artists. And I tagged my friend Steven, who I know was a tattoo artist in Florida, but I had also known that he had relocated. So I actually tagged him in the post, and he actually reached out to me and said, "Hey, guess what? I just happened to move back to Florida." And
Yay!
Steven has a trans son. So he is very, very trans friendly. Well,
Love it.
yes, because he loves his trans son. So he is very, very trans friendly. Having a trans son doesn't necessarily make you trans friendly. I had to think about
That's
that
true.
in my head. But I also asked him if he would mind if we did it live, the tattoos live, and he said he would not mind at all. So Steven
that will be a
works
fun
at
show.
Atomic
Yes!
Tattoos, and we can go ahead. And I told him we just wanted little wrist tattoos, and he was all good with that. So I'm very, very Steven Shepard. Let me give his entire name. I call him Steven, and I just think everybody should know who I'm referring to. So Steven Shepard is who
Because
we're going to be
everybody
getting
knows him so well.
Well,
And,
I don't know. If you're in the tattoo world, you might.
you might.
I'm not.
So we need to welcome all our Lyman viewers. We need to, we need to make sure Steven can do horny-looking ladybugs because
Well, I told him it's
We-
because the ladybugs were fucking, and we thought it was so funny. Can one look like really not satisfied?
Oh my god! And or you can't get the full picture unless we all have our wrists together. That would be like hilarious. My students would be like, "What the hell is that?" Oh, you can't tell until I'm with my sisters. Thanks.
I don't know if you can get the motion of the one that at the end is going.
Yes.
Oh shit!
Oh my
And
goodness.
finally, and most importantly, we are just weeks away from our fucking Halloween party.
Yes.
Yes, I'm very excited about the Halloween party. I love Halloween. It is my favorite time of the year. We are doing a
shit.
Halloween house party.
We're
And-
on Halloween outfit day 8, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I only wore earrings today, and I had to take them out for the show because I was sitting at whatchamacallit. But look at this really cool. Like, John won't let me show everybody everything I'm getting because he told me like I'm ruining it. But look at that freaking cool sewing machine I got now.
Oh my
Do you
God.
see that? Like,
Yes.
oh my God, I lost my shit when I saw that. Like, I had to have that one. So, what's really, really cool is we are doing a haunted house theme for the living room, the main areas of the home. And then the bedroom is going to be a quiet space. The master bedroom will be a quiet space, which has an ensuite, which has a door to that ensuite and then another door to the water closet. So there's levels of protection if people needed to get away from the noise. And so that's why I'm letting them know there's spacers and gaps there so that there can be
I love that you even thought of that. That's
Yeah,
so,
she is the
so
consummate
awesome.
hostess.
a sensory deprivation area.
Mhm.
I was asked if we were going to have regular Coke and Diet Coke. Yes, we will have non-alcoholic beverages as well. We're going to do a non-alcoholic punch, some kind, so that the children might want to have it. Vicky and Lisa are bringing their margarita slushy
frozen
machine.
Margarita slushy machine, yes.
So we will have frozen margaritas. Then if you've ever been at my Christmas party before where we did the spiked apple cider, which is my favorite, we will be doing that with Sailor Jerry's. We are going to be having, you can tell I'm like super, super excited about certain things, right? So we're going to be doing a nacho chili bar. And I'm uber excited about this because the island of my table, the island, a kitchen island, that is where all the toppings are going to be, but it's all going to be beautifully themed as well. And I got these really, really cool cheese and knife things, which are mice. Like the little touches, you have to look everywhere. And then This is something that I'm not sure if Jamie knows occurred, but it's me and I can't help it sometimes. So my family, we're obsessed with hiding ducks and all that shit when we go on cruises. Like I
Mhm.
have them all over the place. So I got 48 ducks that will be
Oh,
hidden
shit.
all over our house, Halloween themed ducks.
It was
That
going
will
to
be
be
hidden.
condoms, but we decided to do something family friendly
I
instead.
love the ducks. I have a duck
Yes.
collection in my classroom, so I love
I
that.
know because so I did ducks, so the kids can also be looking for the ducks.
That's awesome.
If you would take your child to a drag show, this
Mhm.
might be appropriate. If you don't mind them hearing the word fuck and people being drunk,
Oh, please.
this would be appropriate. If you're going to be clutching your pearls like the Bible Belt thumpers we're going to be talking about here in a moment, don't come.
Yeah, exactly.
With kids.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. I mean, that is true.
And some unknown bitch is going to DJ, so we'll see what the fuck happens.
Oh yes.
there.
Great. And explain. Hold on. Hold on. What did we learn about asking a child if they've watched a music video?
Oh my god.
Oh God.
So fucking embarrassed. Dempsey was like such a little bitch, and I was like, she's like,
I'm
"Mommy, I wasn't trying to." I said something to her after, and I'm like, "Why were you such a bitch about that?" And she's like, "Mom, I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what a music video is." And I was like, "Whatever." And I was like, "What do you mean you don't know what a music video?" And I really thought about it. I had to sit on it for a second. The kid has never seen a music video, probably ever.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
So we're in
not a thing.
We're in Starbucks, and I said to Dempsey, "Hey Dempsey, did you want me to teach you to DJ while we're at the party, so you can play your favorite videos?" What's a video? She wasn't being a bitch. It was an honest question, and suddenly I'm like, "Oh shit!"
I'm like, a TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok. She
So
knows about
I had
TikTok.
to start with the back when the world was in black and white.
Yeah, exactly.
And we had to. What was that? An Instacolor,
And-
Vivicolor? What was the color that they ended up?
And before you could DVR or use your streaming service to
She
watch.
doesn't know what
anything,
a DVR is.
No.
right?
They don't do
Watch the
that
money.
anymore.
Before
Where's mine?
TikTok, long before TikTok, and that was Laura. It's like it was fucking TikTok with just music.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm like,
she
it was
did say
TikTok.
that.
TikTok. What
And
music?
then Dempsey's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah,
I
but
said that
they,
to my students the other day that I used to have to wait. Like I couldn't download a song I liked, that I would have to wait all fucking day long for the song to play on the radio and then put a tape in to like tape it off the radio.
yeah, and only the good DJs would announce the songs coming up because
I
they
know.
know we were all waiting to do it.
Yep.
Especially the new shit. Yeah.
Yep.
Z100 in New Jersey.
Oh my God. Z100 in New York too was a big one.
Well, it was the same one.
So
Yeah.
I need people to write in on our page or to our website, and my email address is right there underneath me, and let me know what their favorite videos are. Chances are I have them, and because I used to go do this stump the VJ thing where people just come up with obscure shit, and I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. But yeah, so we're gonna have some fun with it. All right.
Should we get into this topic?
Yep. You can tell none of us like this topic.
Oh, this is a fuck bag rotten topic we're talking about today. So here we go. All right, so we're calling this one "The Religious Right is Religious Wrong." Holy shit. The rise of fundamentalist Christianity started to gain steam in the early part of the 20th century as a reaction to the modernist theological views that were entering into some church doctrines. It relies on the core truths of Christianity while taking into consideration, which the modernist view was that the core truths of Christianity were light, love, forgiveness, reconciliation.
Love thy neighbor as you would yourself. Do unto others.
But science and knowledge changes, ethics change, the cultural things change, and so that was their core tenet.
So it allows for an acceptance of Darwin's theory of evolution and for some biblical criticism. But when I was actually looking at this, I was thinking about something that I teach in my class that is very much related to this. And it was kind of the O.J. Simpson case of its day. I don't know if our viewers have heard of it, but I teach it to my students. It's the Scopes monkey trial, which happened in 1925, which put a teacher, a Tennessee teacher, John Scopes, on trial for teaching human evolution because the fundamentalists, which they called themselves at the time, still called themselves the same thing. All right. They cried about this conflict of hell and the high school. All right. It sure sounds like history is repeating itself, but I do teach about it. It's in our curriculum. All right. So anyway, in general, these more liberal Christians aren't concerned with the concept of biblical errors or contradictions. It's the fundamental truths presented in the Bible that matter. Rather than highlighting Jesus's miracles, more focus is being placed on his teaching.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
very much so. And the fundamentalists, on the other hand, are all about the biblical literalisms. The Bible is considered to be without errors. Now,
Which version?
I have to say, this is a little annoying because it has been translated multiple times. A matter of fact, I believe it is, I am dyslexic, so I can't remember if it's 1946 or 1949 now.
1946.
Thank you, 1946. That the word man should not lay with a boy was changed to man should not lay with another man, and everybody
With
lost
a young boy. Yes.
with a young boy.
Mhm.
Yes, with a young boy. And everybody lost their shit and decided that this new book that they've even come out and said, nope, it was misinterpreted. It was misinterpreted. They still like. So anyway, just have to say it is not without errors because they've even admitted there's an error. So just gotta point that out. This really rose to a place of prominence in the Christian media in the 70s and 80s with Jerry Falwell's Moral Majority and others identifying as some parts of the Christian right, like Pat Robertson's Christian Coalition, were starting to push politicians.
Sorry, I sneezed.
To push politicians, particularly Republicans, to state and national electoral victory. So I just talked with my friend Julie, who is very heavy in the Catholic religion. And she was telling me that she has been able to trace it back to about 50 years ago when they wanted to put in a strategy. So they literally 50 years ago went in to put in a strategy of the minority rule because the majority of our country does not hold these beliefs. So
I'm going to take my titty Skittles on camera because I need a dose of estrogen to be able to get through this shit.
Well, I would say, as I grew up Catholic, I was born and raised Catholic in that religion, and my children we don't go to church for I imagine for pretty obvious reasons. But when they were growing up, before Dempsey came out, we did go to a Christian church. But part of the reason we didn't go to a Catholic church was because, growing up, I always felt that it was this idea of pushing this vengeful, angry God who wanted to punish you for the things that you did. Where for me, I always just kind of was like in love, really, just so to speak, of Jesus, and love everyone and love people and not just be tolerant, but love them, And so when the kids were little, we would take them to a non-denominational church and I actually taught Sunday school, which is funny because I'm me, but it was, for me, it was all about, just being kind to one another. And that's what I wanted my kids to get out of it. I didn't want them to be like me, like when I used to have to go to mass and like make confession and like be so terrified of saying something and say 16 Hail Marys and so
26 Hello Dollies.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I for me, it was very hard when Dempsey did come out because that church really was like our family, and it was so difficult because even the non-denominational Christians like couldn't understand, and so we like had to distance ourselves. And so then we just kind of never look back. And I say to our kids, like, you know, you have the power to believe in what you want to believe and how you want to believe. And that's how we raise them. And I truly believe that if I mean, I totally have my faith, but I just don't feel like I need to go to a church to show it, because I have not been welcomed there. Like, I haven't been welcomed there in so long. And it's one thing to be like, okay, you can come to our church. We love everyone. But are you affirming? Because
Yeah.
if you find out my kid's trans, then it's like, you're out.
Oh,
So
well,
like,
we found a beautiful church right by Walt Disney World, honestly, that we both love.
is it a Unitarian church? Because I really want to get involved with them, but they're just too far from our house.
Evangelical Lutheran Church.
Wow. Okay.
And it is. I'll get to it. And I even put their mission statements, what they believe in. And so we'll get to that. And we also have a section for once we get through this bullshit, talking about our experiences, because we all have.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Religious.
We veered off.
Totally good. We do that.
But you know, Rita
I write a
just
script
said.
so that we can ignore it.
Look, Rita just said. I'm trying to bring us back to the comments here. The Federalist Society and Heritage Foundation saw Reagan as a lead into politics. So yeah, I think that probably stretches back about that 50 years. I think, well, kind of close to it at least.
Look,
Closer
and there's
to it
someone
when I
that's
wish
a
to.
universal Unitarian is there in the comments too. Someone's a member. That's awesome. I
wonder-
love them, and I love with everything that they stand for.
Do you go to the Eustis location by any chance? Trying to
don't
see if
know.
it's my friend.
Our pastor is going to be going to Pride. We have a booth there. I will be spending some time in there to show that we are an accepting church and totally accepting, not halfway accepting. A transgender bishop was just elected to run the church.
Amazing.
Our pastor is going not to stand in the booth.
Virginia.
He's going to meet the sidewalk preachers and tie them up in knots with his double doctorate degree in.
Wow,
So
that is incredible.
Yes.
Yeah, and he loves taking them on, so he's going to tie them up in knots with arguments that they won't have answers to.
I love that.
It's an amazing church. The services are always done in an hour. He says he's lazy with his sermons, but they are all very deeply moving and all about love and acceptance. And it really is a great place. Lisa, I'd been going for a while. Lisa went and fell in love with it, and we just became members there. And it really is literally on Vineland, right by the parks. So not too far away and easy to get to.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, and I love that. I love that some churches can put a modern twist on it and make it relatable to people now, because that's the thing about the Catholic Church is like you go and they are just reading and they're not like making it relatable to any of us now. Like I don't really care anymore about what happened like in black and white biblical times, like I want to know how that relates to me, know, if we're talking about like, feeling old. I mean, we are 300 years old, all of us, but according to Dempsey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, in a world
Or
where
magic.
Leviticus in the Old Testament labels homosexual sex as detestable, but does the same thing for eating bacon or prawns. And if you fire up your car to go to church on the Sabbath, you're kindling a fire, which you can guess is detestable. Even when an extremist viewpoint can be supported from taking a few passages out of context, there's almost always some greater message surrounding it about grace, love, and forgiveness. Like the main sections in Paul's letters were all about all of these sins that were directly relatable to the Roman culture at the time, including the fact that these married senators were grooming young boys as concubines for sex on the side. That's what he had a problem with. Yet, it was all around, but we all fall short of the grace of God and we all need forgiveness. So that's really a very, I don't.
I mean, For the people who view the Bible as the truth, pure truth, and nothing but the literal truth,
Right.
translations change meanings. The Leviticus Kalabar passage, meaning one of the few out of context Bible passages that are used against LGBTQIA people, is Leviticus 18:12. You shall not lie with a male as with a woman. It is an abomination. It was not even translated to mean homosexual until 1946. Before
See, I had
that,
it covered.
referred to young boys. Several Bible theologians cite this, including Martin Luther, who in his translation used the word Knaben. Last week I excused my French. This week I'm excusing my German. Okay. Knabenschnander, which Knaben means a boy.
You know what?
And
Vicky went to
Schnander means
IKEA.
Melissa.
Vicky
That's
went to
not
IKEA.
German. That is not German. That's Swedish.
Knabenschlaber. Yeah, no, I like to give Jamie the words that none of us really want to deal with, just to see what she'll do with it.
Okay, so Knaben is boy and Schnanda is molester. I nailed it this time. I did better with German.
You're on.
And you know what it is? We signed up for this, it's so ridiculous. This Universal Yums box where every month it's like $30 and it comes to our house and it comes from a different country and has like all snacks, and Dempsey likes to unbox it. And today we got one. It was from Germany. So it must have given me good vibes to say the German word.
My pastor, yes, I go to church and love Jesus, said that he once witnessed a Bible scholar discussing the truths of the Bible, and some fundamentalists were pushing for the belief that their translation as it stands now is the perfect whole truth of God. And the scholar was pushing back, basically saying, yes, the Bible is truth. And they would argue the individual little things about it. And he's like, he believed that the Bible was truth, but not every word of it is a literal truth. It's not a cop-out either. The truth of the Christian Bible is this: we aren't perfect. We need forgiveness. God provided his son to bridge the gap between our sinful nature, his righteous nature, and to bring us back into a loving relationship. At least if you're a Christian. That's the Bible's message of love and reconciliation. That's the truth. There's the truth. Not, if you wearing clothing of multiple fibers, that it's an abomination. Because, or not that if you eat shellfish or pork, which back in the day they didn't know how to prepare properly, you're going to rot in hell.
You can stone your wife. Like, you could literally stone people to death.
The problem that I have is
you
even
can sell your
matter-
daughter into slavery in marriage, and if she doesn't satisfy her husband in 7 years, you have to take her back. Like, you have to have a refund policy.
Okay, the problem is though. Okay, this one verse, right? This one little part we're talking about, right? If it was so important, why wasn't that one of the 10 Commandments?
Exactly.
Because the ones that are the 10 Commandments, those ones that like were supposed to be like really bad sins, like those ones apparently
like
they're
thou shalt not judge others.
Yeah,
Talking about you, counter protesters.
Judge not lest lest ye be judged. Right? Yeah.
So you see, I
am bowing down to Vicky because she has all the actual words. Like, I haven't read the Bible in, I don't know, a minute. It's been a minute, not gonna lie. It's been a minute. It's been a lot of minutes.
I haven't.
Susanna, I have not, but
I've heard about it. Was it good? Because I heard about it and I have it saved and I haven't watched it yet. It's like the one with like it's kind of like a Dirty Dancing, kind of like that ranch type resort, but it was for trans women who didn't have a place to go, and it's real footage. I've seen it. Okay, good. It was. And then I'm going to watch it.
I have not. I'm going to need to watch that too.
Look that up. Yeah.
It looked amazing, and I did see the trailer for it, and it is on my watch list. I'm just right now currently competing with Dempsey's Halloween movie list. So, yeah.
Dempsey needs to come over and watch in the 4K theater with
yes.
that 7.1 surround sound. I'm telling you, it's scarier when the shit is all around you.
Well, we watched the other night, Carrie, and from 1976, and so I haven't watched that in a while, and I always forget sometimes the movies from the 70s and the 80s just how much nudity is in them, because it was just so much more freer than we are like
Yes.
Puritans now, like, you know. And so she watched it, and the parts that she got most upset, you're going to be interesting. This is very interesting, because I wasn't sure. Like, I knew she would relate to the bullying, because the bullying was very perverse, like throughout the whole movie, right? That was the theme, right? And whether it was with the students or the mom, because the mom was
Oh, the mom was a horrible
the
bully.
mom was horrible. Dempsey refused to. She went like this and refused to look when they killed the pig, because
Yeah.
she loves animals.
Yeah.
So that was like, really, she's like, I don't want to see them kill the pig. I'm like, well, they don't show it, honey.
Yeah.
I think she's like, I don't want to see it. I'm like, okay.
Right.
And then it wasn't so, this is how you know this kid lives through the shit, like, of being picked on, that she was like, I felt really bad for Carrie. Like, she was like, I feel bad for her, but, like, you know, it's going to be okay. She cried when the teacher died, because she's like, Mommy, the teacher was good. The teacher wasn't bad. The teacher wasn't in on it. She was like so upset that the teacher was like a byproduct of Carrie's rage. That's what, like, she like was literally bawling, like, not scared, but just like, but the teacher, Mommy, she was a really good lady and she was trying to help. So I was like, oh fuck, like, I'm worried about the opening scene. Dennis is like, don't put that on Dempsey's Instagram, because there's a naked lady in the shower. I'm like, there's fucking naked people in everywhere in this movie.
I saw your post, you know, and it was heartbreaking, with her asking, why do people, you know, and why do people hate me so much? And my God, she is so fierce and so strong and so the best of all of us, really, at 11 years old.
Yeah.
But I have to remember, she's a little girl with a lot of weight on her shoulders.
Yeah.
And
we all forget that sometimes, because, you know, I don't, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, well, you know, I don't introduce Dempsey as my trans daughter. Like, the only time that actually comes up is if like we're at some activist thing or something, like, and it's only because I'm trying to put it in context. But to me, I don't look at Dempsey as trans anymore. She's just my daughter. It's the same as you. I don't look at you like you're my trans friend. Like, no, you're just Vicky.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, I don't look at it like that. And that's because I don't know whether it's because I'm so entrenched in the community, but also because Dempsey is just Dempsey. And so, like, for me, it's just like one part of her, really. It's not really like everything, but like, yeah, I mean, I forget that sometimes, that the weight of what that must feel like for her, because I just look at her, she's like, she's my kid, and she's like a little snarky bitch, and I'm like, all right, get over yourself. But then, like, I look at like when she has that moment, and I just, for me, it was redeeming, because it wasn't like she was upset that Carrie was getting bullied, and she's like, this is bullshit. But the fact that she identified it and understood it and has lived it, that it wasn't even the thing that triggered her. It wasn't triggering for her, because she was like, well, that's my life. I live it anyway.
Right.
It's really upsetting that she killed the teacher, because the teacher was good. And I was like,
yeah.
Okay. And yeah. And
that's her giving a little love to you too. I think that's because she related it to you.
Yeah.
I believe.
Maybe.
Oh yeah.
Because of what a fierce, you know, she would hate to see you be collateral damage. You know, and she values
her protectors. Like, she understands that, she understood fundamentally, I gotta throw this word in there, fundamentally, that this lady was a good lady, that she only wanted the best for Carrie, and was killed. But it was also a graphic death too, because like she, like a table or something, and she like got cut in half. So Dempsey was just like in a like, and then she also was upset about the prom date, Carrie's prom date, because he also had nothing to do with it either. And she kept asking, Mommy, is he dead? And I was like, yeah, honey, he's dead. Like, he's gone. And she was just like, but he didn't do anything. So for her, it was very much like, who are the warriors? Who are the perpetrators? And she understood that.
Almost for her also, she saw that people can be collateral damage maybe for the first time. Like, that might be a hard thing where just you don't always realize that, you know, and I know that we do, like, you know, we all know about Pulse and all those things that we've had to deal with. And we know when we're making choices to go to clubs and when we're making choices to go places that we are putting ourselves out there. I know that when Pulse happened, the thing that woke me up, and now you have to remember, I lived through the Oklahoma City bombing once again. So I lived through that terrorist event. And I woke up to that one morning. And now here I am sitting in Orlando and waking up to this. The very first thing that went through my mind, and this was before this was so long ago. I mean, this is before I even knew anything about my children being anything. You know what I mean? Was, oh my God, that could have been me or John at any moment. And
Yeah.
oh my God, that could have been my kids.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it could have been me that was trying to call.
Look, I joke a lot about how your kids, Jamie, have a new crazy aunt, and I will spoil them fucking rotten if I give them the chance. And they don't even know I will. But honestly, if
Just
it
not
came
with
down,
videos.
if it came down to me coming between Dempsey to protect her, and she's the future, and I
Yeah.
see her as
No,
the
I
future,
mean,
and all of us would gladly.
no, I know. And now you're gonna make me cry because I'm thinking of that, and it is my triple pour is almost done, and so now I'm getting emotional. And no, I absolutely appreciate that, and I think what you said, Laura, what you pointed out with maybe she saw like this collateral damage. I mean, I don't really often think of what it must be like for Dempsey to see her parents constantly under attack. For standing up for her just to live, like,
Yes.
and to hear it like a lot like that. I never thought about it from that perspective because I often just, to me, it's always about like Dempsey, like, is she okay? Like, is she getting bullied? But she sees us being bullied,
Correct.
like every day, and she
And all you're
maybe
doing is being
understands that.
supportive, and you
Exactly.
are not. Yeah. I
Jamie,
think
you carry it with such grace. You carry it with such.
I don't know about that,
style.
but
No, it's true. You do. I mean, yeah. Lisa.
Somebody just went to the courts this Friday for their legal name change. I'm sorry. That was just too exciting. I just saw that.
I know. I love that.
Barbara Joanne Williams.
Barbara
Congratulations,
Joanne,
Barbara.
welcome on Happy Coming Out Day. You're sharing with us your new name. Yay!
I love it. I love it.
it. It
Congratulations,
took me about 4.5
Barbara.
months, but it was. Oh my God! What an
The
amazing.
best
Oh, it was
thing
an
ever, I
amazing
bet.
day.
Yeah. Shit.
So, to get back on topic really quick so we can get off of this train, because quite honestly, I am the agnostic of the bunch, and I quit going to church when I left New Jersey, and I did that when I was 11. So, the fundamentalist church still in many ways clings to the idea that LGBTQIA people make a lifestyle choice, that their God couldn't possibly actually let people be born gay. They hope that conversion therapy will fix LGBTQIA individuals. Here's some real
I've
data.
been through it, by the way. I've been through.
It worked.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Sorry.
The evidence is right in front of us. But you know
I
what?
got the tits to prove it.
They don't
Five
pay
star
scientific evidence, so that's not a real thing.
That's right. So here are some real data about those in the community that have gone through it. 92% of individuals that have been converted to heterosexuals struggle with a lifetime of suicide ideation.
Suicidal ideation, yeah, that's a horrible word.
70, yeah,
It's a hard word.
92%.
I don't like that word.
92. So if 100 people went, just make sure people understand this,
92 out of the 100
are thinking of killing themselves often.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Okay.
and the others are probably wanting to kill the counselors that converted them, but that's okay.
Yeah, they probably aren't being honest about that either, quite honestly.
They might not be suicidal. They're probably
homicidal. 75% greater actually make it to the extreme dangerous planning stage, and 88% actually attempt to end their life.
88%. That is so ridiculously high.
So
I mean,
to recap and just get this shit off our plate, because this has been a barrel of laughs, like, watching a traffic accident happen right in front of us. Fundamentalists, to be able to support their attack on LGBTQIA plus rights, have to ignore historical and cultural context. They have to ignore that many of the passages addressing specific practices and situations were actually more about exploitative. There, I gave myself a fucking hard word. Exploitative relationships, or things like temple prostitution, rather than adult, consensual, loving relationships. They have to ignore all the translation variations that have occurred within the numerous languages the Bible's been translated into, and the interpretations that may not accurately convey the original meaning of these, often more than 2,000-year-old writings.
Butt dial and booty call. Butt dial and booty call. Just gonna say it. Butt dial and booty call. In 2,000 years, you tell me if they're gonna understand the difference between butt dial and booty call when Dempsey did not understand music video.
Oh well,
Yes.
they did. I think that's in Acts, isn't it? Butt dial and booty call. I'll have to look that one up. They have to push the focus away from the messages of love and acceptance to paint moral and ethical issues as the main subject matter of the Bible, which is not. The whole point of the Bible is you can't live up to God's standards.
That's the whole point.
And you're a fucking idiot if you try.
And you're not supposed to judge other people. You're supposed to worry about your own shit.
Yeah. Laura, it's your favorite. When you point a finger at someone else's sin,
you have 4 more pointing back at you. And you see, you really do, because I have EDS and I can get my thumb to point all the way back too. So I want to tell you that. Stop doing that. Stop projecting your shit on other people.
Most
And
of us only get 3.
Listen, here's my deal. And this really, I gave a ridiculous number one time, so I'm not going to say that ridiculous number again because I'm going to get better at math. But
No, you're not.
I'm not.
Still not.
But let's say the average person, once you hit middle age, has sex once a week, right? Once a week. There are 52 weeks in a year. So you're literally, let's say the average sexapade lasts 30 minutes, right? From start to finish. So really, you're telling me that you're worried about you're taking somebody's rights away for 30 hours, possibly? Am I doing math right here?
No.
I don't know where you're going with this one, but I
don't either.
No, so if you had
Everybody
sex
just
once
mind your
a
own
week
fucking
for 1
business.
hour,
That's it.
right? So if you had sex once a week and it was an hour each round for 52 hours a year, right? That's it. For 52 hours a year, they're worried about your mortal sin. The rest of the time, the rest of the hours in your year didn't matter. They're only worried about what you're doing in the bedroom for those moments. However, church institutions have pedophile insurance.
The end of the moral of the story is worry about your fucking self. That's it.
Stay in your own lane.
Worry about your fucking self. Don't worry about what I'm doing in my house. Don't worry about what Vicky's doing in her house. Who gives a shit? Because I don't want to know what the fuck you're doing in your house.
No.
That's it. Like, everybody lives their own life. Stop judging other people.
Okay, Laura, to correct you, you're talking about 26 hours.
Thank you. 26 hours. Jesus, Lord, help me. You see, not 52 hours. Most people don't even have sex for an hour a week. So you're literally worried about 26
That's a long
hours.
ass time. I don't even have an hour.
All right,
So
we're
seriously, 26
not
hours.
going to get into lesbian sex, because lesbian sex is
Completely different.
completely different. Yeah,
So,
shit. It's
But-
4 in the morning already? Holy fuck, we've got to get up in a few hours.
but like, that's such a little part. Like, and it's so funny because like John and I have I think we have a
Oh, here we
healthy,
go.
intimate relationship. But however, like a lot of people I hear have gone like years and years without having sex. So if most people aren't
Well,
even having
let's put
sex
that-
for 5 hours out of an entire year, why are you so
Let's
worried
put that
about
on
it?
the next show. Let's talk about that on the next show
So,
because
like,
I
so-
need a refill and I'm gonna pee my pants.
So bingo, Laura, you hit it right on the nose, but I think what you actually did was hit the G spot. So way to go. So the biggest thing is they have to ignore that human understanding of the world through science, things like genetics, human biology that support and affirm variations of human sexuality and gender identity, cannot coexist with biblical explanations of the world and human development. And the Bible isn't a science book. It was never designed to be a science book. It actually doesn't talk that much science at all. But when it does, it seems to support science, not contradict it. Yes, the world being created in 7 days is a big stumbling block for a lot of people, and there are plenty of theories that attempt to reconcile that. But many years ago, I was attending a lecture by a Russian Jewish scientist who was using electron microscopes to create visualizations of DNA replication. Sounds like a very fun topic, right? He was an avowed atheist until he saw the whole process unfold in his animated models. The strands, the whole big complicated DNA strands, split right down the exact middle. And at the end, a small weaving machine is formed. It forms itself. And then it works its way all the way up, back up the chain to replicate and repair the split DNA strand. And the same thing happens on the other split strand. That's how it replicates. And he remembered Psalm 139, verses 13 and 14. For you created my innermost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. And I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, and I know that full well. And he fell to his knees and became reconnected with God, because that Bible was 100% in concurrence with something that he had just witnessed with modern technology. It was 100% right. So, you know, and they have to, again, ignore the context around passages, which is just sad, because most of those passages are about living in grace and mercy towards ourselves and others, and the fact that God extends that to us. I mentioned I'm a member of a local church. My wife and I love it there. They are an evangelical Lutheran church committed to reconciling in Christ. That's their movement. It promotes the idea of inclusivity for LGBTQIA individuals. They are welcome to fully participate in the church, including leadership and clergy roles. They advocate for social justice. They, both in and out of the church community, they foster education efforts. As a matter of fact, we're just starting an LGBTQIA plus Bible study that's going to meet once a month. So there are churches that not only, and I got to tell you, and I'm stepping way out on this one. I've been watching this church for months online, wondering, and I did try one other church that was local, and I walked in and I didn't.
You didn't feel it.
They weren't.
They weren't what they claimed to be.
I walked into this church and immediately the assistant pastor came aside and she said, "Oh my God, welcome. Everybody is welcome at communion. We don't care as long as you know what it's about. It's a free gift of God." Their prayers, they open up the prayers to anybody in the church that has anything to pray about every week. We have an usher who's I think about 2.5 years old, who toddles up and usually spills the offering plates on the ground. But it's such a loving, friendly, caring place. I fell in love with it. I'd been going for a while. Lisa came and she fell in love with it. She immediately said, "I feel God is here and God's love is here." So
that's what church is supposed to be.
That's what church is exactly supposed to be.
So we'll recap. Those are the core issues with the use of religion to attack the rainbow community. Let's get to the meat of this. Each of us has been at least verbally attacked by the agents of this extremist teachings. Let's discuss how this has affected each of us directly. You know what? I think we kind of already did that. We've talked about how we've been called monsters and everything. And, I spent a day at Mayo Clinic hearing and learning about things that I have to try to do to take stress away from my life so that my blood pressure can come down and I can start communicating better with my body. And one of the things that I don't want to dwell on is the horribleness of the words that I get called and the cruel things that people say. What the only thing I'm going to say about this is I do not believe any member of the church and anybody that is acting in the covenant of God should be suggesting that people execute another person, and that is a good thing to do. And I'm just going to leave it at that.
I
Yeah.
have nothing else to add.
Like the Crusades or World War
Yeah.
II with the Nazis, or
Yeah,
Exactly.
I just don't got it.
I love talking to you ladies, but like I'm done talking about this topic, and so it's just this is a heavier than normal, and it's a downer for me. So yeah,
It's
I
just
don't have
hard.
anything else to add.
because all
Yep.
we do is love our kids, and
Yep.
all we're trying
Yeah.
to do is do right by our kids, and the world judges us already enough as parents. I mean, as moms,
Yeah.
you get judged for every fucking thing. If you don't make the kids lunch right, you get judged for everything. And all we're trying to do is keep our children alive. And I will fight with every last breath to make that happen.
Which
For
we
my
showed at the
child,
beginning
for
of the show.
Dempsey, for every other person. So
Yep.
we're gonna take that, and because of Vicky and her love of
Mhm.
God, and because of my my friend that I get to call her Mother Butler, she and her trio, I call them the 3 J's and the L because there's 3 of them with the J name. They are teaching me that there are good people in religion, and I'm
There are.
happy. I'm not ready. Like I joke with Vicky all the time, and I'm like, yeah, I don't subscribe to your book of the month club, but I'm glad you do, honey boo boo. And I think that's a beautiful thing, and I'm so grateful to see the people stepping up and stepping out.
Yeah.
But let's talk about all
Agreed.
the light and wonderfulness that we have to
Yeah.
offer.
Close it out. This was not a topic I wanted to cover. Let's face it, it's not even really about God. I'm going to bring it down. It's about the white religious patriarchy maintaining their position in an increasingly diverse modern world. God would have given more than a few random passages in the Bible, indirect verses that have been misinterpreted, if this was an issue that was really critical to him. And he never advocated hate the way these people do. So, in loving Christian fashion, fuck all you fuckheads that are, pushing this bullshit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please look in the mirror and preach what you're saying about me back to yourself.
And so
Mhm.
next week, we hope to come back with a much more fun show. We're going to look back at our first 10 episodes, which are still largely filled with laughter, even when we discuss weighty shit like this. We hope you will join us. Please, please, please encourage others to watch this in replay. We love what we do, and we aren't trying to get rich doing it. We're just trying to be a positive beacon in a dark world. We will see you next week as we prepare for Orlando Out with Pride.
Yay!
So with
We're
that,
gonna be in the parade with Jamie. We're so excited to be supporting Dempsey.
Don't
I'm
be
so
the
excited
me,
to watch
Dempsey.
her. Yeah, I'm so excited to watch her shine. Like I cannot wait to see.
She's working on her queen wave.
we are so fucking honored. But Jamie's splatter alarm is going off on my phone right now.
Yes.
So I'm gonna get us into the titles. Here we go.